Hello and welcome back. We are here again, waffling, Den Talks, bite-sized session. I hope you're doing fine, by the way. I hope you're still keeping that taken over, and I hope you're still keeping active. We've had some good news. Not me personally, not for the gym, but for non-essential shops. They should be getting reopened, mid next month-ish. So hopefully when they start reopening all them shit places, they'll get something squared away for the gyms and fitness facilities, and then we can get back to a bit of normality, nice and safe, washing your hands and all that sort of shit. Yeah? Anyway, today what we're talking about is training. How to train, what to train, where do I start is one of the biggest things. I've had so much questions during lockdown. I mean, even before lockdown, I've had questions about where do I start. Some people think that they've let themselves go after something's broken a part of their bodies and just done nothing and thrown rehab out the window and all that. So they're trying to get back into the swing of things, but they want to know how to do it and how best to break back into the world of health and fitness. One of the things I advise basically is to ease into it. Don't go from zero to hero. If you've broken a body part, or you just had a baby, or you've had some tragedy in your life and it's just stopped you from doing anything, the last thing you want to do is to go from sitting on a chair to running a marathon. It doesn't really work like that. Some people can do it, don't get me wrong. There are the odd maniacs that thing that, that's in the head that's meant to tell them to switch off, they're in pain. It doesn't work, so they could just go. It happens to them. But for 99% of us, I would think it doesn't happen like that for us. You got to take it easy. You got to get back into it easy, man. If you're looking at getting into it, my suggestion would be to start with 5,000 steps, 3,000 to 5,000 steps. Do that for a few weeks, up to 10,000, and then go from there. It's better than do nothing, and it's making those steps gradually to doing a bit more. Anything more than what you were doing is gonna initiate some sort of result. Of course, with that, you're gonna check your nutrition. Don't go full retail on your nutrition, because that's where a lot of people go wrong as well. They get everything sweet out of the house and then think that they're gonna sustain that, and they wanna live on bush, like broccoli and Brussels sprouts and all that. I like broccoli though, but people want to live on just salads and green things that rabbits eat and nothing else, or shakes. That doesn't really work. It doesn't really work. It'll just send you friggin' nuts, and you'll go out and buy chocolate and you'll end up friggin' back to square one, right? So don't go full retail on nutrition either. Start getting your steps up, and then once you're happy with that, we can work on things a little bit advanced in the beginner world, if that makes sense. So we can then go for a 3-day-a-week exercise regime. Of course, still with doing your steps in between that. And those 3 days, I'd recommend doing something for your full body. So you'd work your upper body, you work your lower body for those 3 days. And I would concentrate on compound movements, or I would concentrate on movements that are beneficial to a human being. So the things that we do in everyday life, functional exercise, movement patterns, push, pull, squat, lunge, hinge, bit of rotation, anti-rotation, that's another topic, and bracing. All these things are going to help with your posture. They're going to help with your movement. So I would concentrate on things like that. And I think the hardest bit is to not go from that zero position to doing a load of stuff, because you see all the wonderful social media influencers doing all the jumpy bouty exercises, and you think, oh, that looks great, I'm going to do that. But if you can't implement a squat pattern properly, or if you can't move a certain way through a certain plane of movement properly, then you're going to run into problems. So take your time with it. It's a time consuming thing, and it might seem like it's going on forever, but it's not. You'll get to a stage where you're happy. I promise you, it'll happen. But you got to take your time with it. So those 3 days of exercise is concentrating on compound movements concentrate on movement patterns like push, pull, squats and all that. And you can find millions of exercises on those on YouTube, my YouTube channel as well. Methods of movement every Saturday. Clock in, right? Yeah, but you can find that. And that's a beginner. When you start getting used to that, then you could start pimping it up a little bit. You could go into your intermediate bracket. And this is where you have splits. So you can implement a 4-day workout regime where you have push and pull, push pull, or 5-day you can have push pull legs and then upper and lower. You can just do upper and lower. You can go to 6 days workout, push pull legs, upper lower, upper lower, upper lower. There's 1,000,001 ways to do this. Don't think that you have to stick to the same muscle groups as well that you work in. A lot of people think that I need to, if I work my chest, then I need to work my triceps as well. Doesn't have to work like that. You can work a chest and your earlobe. It doesn't matter. What you need to take into consideration is probably what you want to work the most. So I would concentrate on, if I've got crap earlobes, then I want to work my earlobes. See, that's a gift. So if I want to work my earlobes, then I'll work my earlobes a little bit more. So my frequency will be a little bit more there, as opposed to anything else. And that's the way you could sort of mess about with your intermediate splits. There are quite a few variables within those splits though that you need to be aware of. Frequency, intensity, time that you're training, what sort of kit and equipment you're using, and how you're using it. Just what type of training you're implementing with it. But we can speak about that at some other stage if you fancy it. When you get used to doing all these splits and you consider yourself an advanced lifter, these are the things that can go wrong for you, because it went wrong for me. Complacency. I got complacent a hell of a lot, especially with things like the deadlift. So I had way too much weight on the bar, way shit of a form, and I just end up fucking myself up. It doesn't have to be like that. Ego lifting is this thing that fucks a lot of people up, but they don't realize, because they're ego lifting. I want to lift heavier than you, but it doesn't have to be like, you can cut that shit out. When you become complacent around weights and around exercise is when you're injuring yourself. Most exercises, this is going to sound really weird, when you do things, a lot of the times you should implement your full body. Even though if I were to do a bench press, I would say that's for my chest, primary muscle, my triceps, secondary muscle, and that's what I'm going to work. However, there are different parts of my body that I will try and focus on, and I would try and stimulate for me to get a good bench press lift. I would activate parts of my lats. I would, grip the bar in a certain way. I'd have my feet flat and firm on the floor. I'd be tensing my quads up. My core would be braced. There are so many other different elements that you can implement with doing one lift, even though that lift is for a particular muscle group. And that's the other thing as an advanced lifter people forget. The other thing is, if you ever tried doing an exercise that is meant to be for one muscle group, but you feel it somewhere else, then 9 times out of 10, that mind-muscle connection isn't there. And that's why we implement things like priming, like warming up, to get that muscle group firing before you actually get into the exercise. A pull-up, for instance, if I do a pull-up, to many people it look like a normal pull-up, but I have the ability to switch that main muscle group from either my biceps or my lats, and it can just be me switching different muscle groups on and off. But this is years of me training. This is me kind of understanding my body. There's a lot of people that I've taught something as simple as the tricep press down, tricep push down, and they felt it in the biceps before, or they felt it in different areas, and it's as simple as that. That connection isn't there. So it's trying to get that connection and get those muscle groups firing before you do the exercise. Another thing advanced lifters do is waste time, a hell of a lot. So you go to the gym. Why would you go to the gym to just train biceps and triceps? I never got that. Again, if you're lagging biceps and triceps, then all right, I can get it. But I see people doing biceps and triceps daily, and like they hit it every single day, and it's not getting any bigger. You just think it doesn't make any sense. What you're doing is just counterproductive. Stop fucking wasting time in the gym doing shit like that. If you have your compound lift squared away and you get that connection right, then a lot of the times you just need to hit your biceps and triceps once, maybe twice a week, even that. People want to grow, people want to have big arms, but then overdo it on the biceps, but not training triceps. It's just an annoying thing. Stop fucking wasting your time just doing random shit in the gym. Have a plan in your head and go in there with something that you're going to do, and just go, especially now when the lockdown starts easing. We're not going to have the time nor the luxury to go in with a mate for that mate to show us what to do, or to have a chin wag and scroll through Instagram and go, all right, yeah, I fancy doing his workout. You're probably not going to have that luxury because it's going to be that tight within the space. You may even have to book for you to go into that space before you get booted out for it so that it can get cleaned again. So you need to stop wasting time with this kind of shit. All right. So to recap what we talked about, beginners, if you're going to start in the health and fitness space, and you're going to start doing some sort of fitness, don't go for a retard. Don't go straight into it. Try moving first. Just do something as simple as upping your steps. Anything outside of what you were doing before will work. Up your steps, then gradually increase your exercise. Find somebody who knows what they're talking about. You can find a lot of shit on YouTube. Find a lot of shit out on YouTube, and if you're good at learning stuff, then it should be easy enough. But what I'd recommend is trying to get someone to have a look at your form, because again, things go wrong. Just so that you're doing it right. So take it easy. If you're into the intermediate bracket, then switch things up a little bit. Just don't stick to your 4 days push-pulls or your upper and lower. Try and get out of that bracket and do something different. If you're stuck in that hypertrophy range where you're doing reps between 12 and 15, maybe 10 to 12, and you're trying to do those reps in between for the pump, then maybe come out of that bracket, do a bit of strength, do a strength block for about 4 weeks, and then get back to hypertrophy, do an endurance block for about 4 weeks, and then get back to hypertrophy. You'll see a difference, I guarantee you, because it's something outside of what you were doing before. 100%, I'd swear down, it'll fucking work. So try that. Switch your regime up. If you're an advanced lifter and you think you know it all, trust me, you do not. Nobody fucking knows it all. Stop wasting time in the gym. Try not to get complacent in what you're doing. Try not to injure yourself, basically. Still take advice. I still take advice daily from people. I still watch Instagram and follow people that are very, very knowledgeable on these things, and I still take advice. I still chat to mates that are in this space, and they tell me, Dwayne, the fuck you doing? You need to do that right. And I do it right. I listen. So yeah, seek some advice. We're not all experts, right? So there you go. There you have it. Beginner, intermediate, advanced, where to start. If you have any questions, then send me a message. If you're struggling to get into it, then send me a message, because what I'm going to start doing is, if you're struggling to move, or if you're struggling to get that motivation to get out of your house and walk, then I'm going to freaking come with you, right? So send me a message if you want to do this. We'll work out a day and we will work out timings, and we will just go 2 meters apart, social distancing styly, and we'll just friggin' walk, and we'll up your steps. Make sure you're getting it right. And then when things open up a little bit more, then we'll just get more people, and we're just gonna fucking walk. Talk some shit, yeah? So don't be afraid. Send me a message. That's it. I'm gonna sign off now. Finish talking crap. But I hope you're still keeping active, and I hope you're still staying sane. still reading, meditating, whatever it is you lot do. And enjoy the rest of your day, evening, whatever time it is. I'm not too sure. Yeah, not too sure. But anyway, stay active.